People were instructed not to show additional losses.
These are the first criminal charges brought against two former JP Morgan employees in the London Whale case, Julian Grout and also Javier Martin Artajo. Now, they're being accused and charged with wire fraud, conspiracy to falsify SEC filings and falsify records as well. Now, the idea is that they made very risky bets, very exotic trades, and when those losses sort of turned against them, when these trades began to result in huge losses, they began the process of covering it up, essentially cooking the books, lying to investors and lying to regulators as well. Now, these losses ended up costing JP Morgan roughly around $6.2 billion. So huge that in fact the bank actually had to revise their first quarter earnings. Now, the U.S. Attorney of the Southern District of New York, Preet Bharara, has taken a very sort of no-nonsense approach against this kind of rogue trading. Here's what he had to say.
The difficulty inherent in precisely valuing certain kinds of financial positions does not give people a license to lie or mislead or to cover up losses. It does not confer a license to create false books and records or to make false public filings. And that goes double for handsomely paid executives at a public company whose actions can roil markets and upend the economy. Capitalism works best when its captains do not lie and cheat. Capitalism works best when its biggest beneficiaries play by the same rules as everyone else. We happen to live in a time where not just one bank, but one trader within one bank can do catastrophic economic harm in practically the blink of an eye. And recent history bears that out. And that is why prosecutors need to be even more aggressive. Regulators need to be even more vigilant. And as I have been saying for some years now, companies themselves need to pay closer attention to the cultures that they create. It's a classic story of people who were doing something funky and then ended up realizing they were holding the bag and tried to get around that by lying about it for a period of time so they could make things right, which didn't work because the bottom fell out.
And I do also want to mention that neither of these two men are in New York right now. One of them is in France, another one is actually away on vacation. The U.S. Attorney didn't actually mention what specific extradition process there would be, if any, but he did say that this is an ongoing investigation and that if there are any higher-ups at JP Morgan who are also involved in this and that comes to light, they too will also be brought to justice. Zain Asher, CNN, New York.